Katie the Novel Stitcher. It's Saturday, February 25th, and this is Flosstube number 13. For anyone new here, this is a channel where I talk about the wonderful hobby of cross stitch, show off my projects that I've just started, show off my works in progress, my WIPs, any finishes or fully finishes, talk about plans, haul, and all that good stuff. If you're new here, thank you so much for listening in. I hope you'll enjoy this episode, like what you see, and consider liking, subscribing, and commenting. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for being back here with me. I love filming these every 2 weeks. I love chatting with you in the comments. Please continue to leave your wonderful comments. It's my favorite part of doing this. It's the reason why I do this every 2 weeks, is to interact with you and chat with you and learn about you and make some stitchy friends, because I don't have any in real life yet, but hopefully that will change someday soon. But for now, you mean so much to me, and I really appreciate your support and your kindness and just chatting with me. So life updates, not too much to share, which is good because I have a lot of stitchy things to share today. Thank you for your comments on the RAV4 for those of you who drive that car. Last weekend, right after I filmed, my boyfriend Alex and I went to look at cars. I'm looking for a new car, something a little bit bigger with a little bit more space. Unfortunately, something you might not know about me, because I'm always sitting in these videos, is that I am 4'10", so I am pretty short, and I could not comfortably reach the pedals in the RAV4, which I have not really had that happen before test driving a car. I think it's just the way the seat was made in the RAV4. It doesn't go quite as far up as I need it to go. And so that one's off the list, unfortunately. Lovely car for those of you who drive it, just not gonna work comfortably for me. And so after I film this video, Alex and I are heading over to Honda, and we're gonna try the CRV and HRV, see if one of those works out better for me. A little bit of time before my lease ends, but dealerships are still having like supply chain issues, so we'll see. I'll figure it out. I can extend my lease if I need to, or, keep the car I have and think about something else down the road. So not a big deal, but we'll see how today goes. Weather in Pennsylvania has been a little weird. It was like 71 degrees on Thursday, dropped back down in the 40s yesterday. It might snow today. I don't know what's going on. It's very odd for February for it to be so up and down. But other than that, I've just been stitching a lot, it's kind of a slow time of year. So a lot of stitching has been happening. I took off a random day in the middle of the week a couple weeks ago just to use some PTO. I had off Monday for President's Day. So that gave me a long weekend of stitching. So I have a lot to share with you all. So let's just dive in. Today I'm going to talk about a finish, start. I think I have 5 or 6 WIPs that I worked on because I was just working on a little bit of everything in the past couple of weeks. I have some haul and some stitchy kindness. I have giveaways this episode. I don't know if we're allowed to say giveaways anymore. I think that causes trolls, but I don't know if they can tell if you say that in your video. So I will call it stitchy treats. I have some stitchy treats that I'm gonna share. And then I think I said haul already, some plans, and then I'm gonna do at the very end my market wish list. I'm not gonna share everything I want from Needlework Market, which is happening this coming weekend, but I'm gonna share some of the top things on my list. I have about 5 or 6 patterns that I'm gonna share that I'm interested in getting or might have already pre-ordered. And for those of you who don't know, Needlework Market happens in Nashville, first weekend in March, so next weekend. And it's where all of the designers go to sell and distribute new patterns, and then all of the shop owners, whether it's a physical needlework shop or an online needlework shop, I think, go to Nashville, check out new patterns, order new patterns. So it's just a big time of year for new designs and for us to all look in our wallets and wonder how empty they're gonna be at the end of the month, but it's a lot of fun. So I'm excited to share some of the cute patterns that caught my eye. So let's start. I have a finish, and my finish is Love You. This is Hands-On Design. Kathy Haberman releases a free pattern around Valentine's Day every year to celebrate her and her husband's anniversary. This one I think was from 2020 or 2021. It's not this year's, it's a couple years old, but I thought it was really cute. And so that is my finish. So I did my own colors with this one. This is a 32 count Earthen by Fiber on a Whim. Nope, picture this plus. And I don't have the floss written down, but I did talk about that in my last episode, and I will put it in the description if you're interested in these colors. I'll always put everything in the description to make it easy. You can just go down there to see flosses, fabrics, patterns, designer names, all of that. But I thought this one turned out really cute. It's looking a little darker. I think, yeah, if I hold it back there, that's more the color of the fabric. So it's really nice pink mauve-y modeling. And I think I have a little board from Michael's, just a wooden board. It has a little easel on the back. I have some fabric that's similar to this color and some gray fabric. So I think I'm gonna finish it on that. And I got some white ribbon and some little fake flowers. So we'll see how it turns out when I fully finish it. I was hoping to fully finish it last night, but then I just wasn't in a finishing mood. But next episode, you should see that fully finished. And that was just a fun little stitch. And so the next one I have is a start. And this is more of a start along than a stitch along, but it is a Sal, doing it with Bridget the Museum Stitcher and Sarah from Sarah's Stitchy Spot. So if you're interested in Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Designs, join in. We started it this week. There are really no rules to this, you know, we're all just starting it at the same time, but no expectations for when we'll finish it, no kind of needing to get certain sections done by a certain time. It's just all of us really liking this pattern and wanting to start it together. And I think it's just really pretty, funky flowers. I love the house. So I'm very excited to be starting this one. And so you all might remember from my last episode 2 weeks ago, I was debating between two fabrics. I had a piece of Steinbeck by Needle and Flax, and then I had I think it was Cappuccino by Fiber on a Whim. The problem with the Steinbeck, which is the fabric I liked better, was it was just gonna have slightly too small of margin, and I was just worried about not having enough fabric on the sides for fully finishing it the way that I want. And you all, being the kindest community that I have ever been a part of on the internet, sent me a larger piece of Steinbeck. So one of my very kind viewers reached out to Rachel of Needle and Flax and told her of my slight dilemma. And Rachel sent me a very large piece of Steinbeck. It is 36 count. It is beautiful. And that's just the kindest thing ever to do that, to make sure I could stitch this pattern on the fabric I wanted to stitch it on. I am eternally grateful for that. So here is my little bitty start. So not much progress yet, but look at this fabric. It's just beautiful. It's not really mottled. I'd say it more has like darker veins of color, which I love, especially for this pattern. I think this is just gonna be absolutely beautiful. This pattern does have quite a bit of specialty stitches, which I have really not done much specialty stitching. So we'll see how that goes. Satin stitches here. I think I did it right. Satin stitches here. This looks a little messy. I might want to restitch that, but I'll learn as I go. The pattern has some, in the back, some illustrations of how to do the specialty stitches, and there's a ton of Flosstube videos, I'm sure, that kind of tutorials and things for the specialty. Some of the flowers have Smyrna, I think, and there's a lot of satin stitches and other specialty stitches, so it'll be a good learning experience to figure out how to do those. And Bridget and Sarah, if you have any recommendations too, as you start stitching, if you have more experience with those specialty stitches, let me know. And then the other thing I had talked about in my last video that you all gave fabulous recommendations on that I didn't even think through was whether I would use all of the fancy floss. And this pattern has a lot. That's the list of all the flosses. And so didn't want to spend a ton on getting all of the fancy flosses, and so I did a mix of fancy and DMC, which a lot of people recommended. And a great thing about the pattern too that I realized as I was going through this is there are some stars next to 1, 2, 3 of the colors, and she even says you can easily use those for, use DMC for those because they're just not used much in the pattern. So that was already 3 that right off the bat I knew I could use the DMC. And then I was thinking about it as I was going through the pattern, and I'm stitching, which I'll show in a little bit, Winter Rose Manor by Brenda Gervais. It has some of the same tones and colors, so I thought, oh, I wonder if I have floss that I'm using for that one, because I am using the fancy floss that I can use for this one. So I looked at how much of each color was being used in Winter Rose Manor and how much would be used in this to see if I would have enough, and for most of them it turned out I would. So I think that was 3 or 4 fancy floss that I already had for another project kitted up. And so it's just for me about being conscious of what I'm spending. Not that I can't spend what I want. I have a good job and I do well and I have the money, but also it's just being, not going too crazy and being conscious of what I'm spending. And so this is messy. This looks really messy. But here's all the flosses. So I need to bobbinate these, but I bobbinate my DMC, and then the fancy I decided to put on floss drops. These are all the colors that I bought. Beautiful, beautiful colors, Weeks Dye Works, and then one Gentle Art sampler threads. And these are just beautiful. So I'm really glad that I went with the fancy floss for these. And then these 4 are ones that I had for the Winter Rose Manor for Brenda Gervais, and so I just bought some floss drops to put those on, and just split the skein in half for Winter Rose, half for this, and we'll see if I need to take some from this, or I'll figure it out as I stitch if I need more, but I think that'll work well. And I also, as I was thinking through what fancy floss to use, I was also looking at like where it was used in the pattern, like the house. I definitely wanted some of that variegation, the bird, and just kind of comparing the DMC to what the fancy floss might look like and which I would prefer. And just to show, like, so I bought, I think 6 fancy floss for this project, and then all the rest will be DMC or the fancy floss I already had, and I got it from 123 Stitch. And when I did the math, if I had bought all of the fancy floss for the pattern straight up, it would have been like $53, and instead I spent like $16. So that's kind of where you can save a little bit, and then, you know, the money you save can go toward other fabrics or patterns or other things instead of always using all the fancy floss, which certainly you can if you love it or you have it or you really want to go all in. Obviously you should do what makes you happy and stitch what makes you happy, but there are ways to save a little bit if you need to. So yeah, so a little bitty start, but beautiful fabric. Oh, and I will say, as I was stitching this, I noticed that Rachel from Needle and Flax came out with a new, not a new Flosstube, but a new episode or a new video on her channel, and she's doing a series around the first ladies of the United States, I think up through Barbara Bush. And she is just doing these episodes where she talks about these women in history, tells their story, a little bit about their husbands too, our presidents, and talks about the stitching or needlework or crafts of the time, whether that first lady did that craft or just what was going on during that time period in the needle arts. And so while I was stitching this, I was watching her first episode on Martha Washington, and it was wonderful and fascinating. So if you like history, I'm gonna put her Flosstube in the description. Really check that out because that was a lot of fun to watch. I really enjoyed that. So yeah. So thank you so much, Rachel, and to my wonderful viewer who helped get me that fabric because I love it. And definitely check out Needle and Flax fabric. It's beautiful. I'm going to take a short break. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I've been experiencing a little bit of back pain lately, maybe too much sitting at the office or slept weird. So I might be getting up and taking some breaks during this video just every now and then when I can't be sitting here for too long. But let's keep going. So that was my start. So next we have whips. So my first whip is my Best Bunnies Sal. I'm doing Berry Patch by Hello from Liz Matthews. This stitch along is join in whenever. All you have to do is stitch something with a rabbit or a bunny. I just thought it would be fun to get us all stitching things that'll make us think of spring. March is coming, spring is coming, so join in whenever. Hashtag Best Bunnies Sal if you're sharing on Instagram, and let me know what you're gonna be stitching or how you're doing with your bunny stitching so far. So let's see where I'm at. And this one's a lot of fun. I'm loving stitching on this. I'm loving the spring colors and can't wait till we start seeing all the bunnies out. So this is my progress. Sorry, I did not iron anything because that takes a while. So this is a 32 count cream and sugar by Fiber on a Whim. I'm using all the called for DMC except for the flowers. So the flowers I'm doing in DMC 3747. They're originally in white and I knew the white wasn't going to show, so I did a very light purple. And I think the purple is really nice. I like the way it makes it pop. I'm doing the butterfly in purple too, because the butterflies are also white. And I'm just loving stitching on this one. I'm being very like sporadic with, I'll do some of the border, then I'll do the flowers, then I'll go down here. So the border is like, you know, half done here, half done there, but it's super cute. I love the strawberries. I'm so excited to be getting into that part of stitching it. And the one thing that I always forget with Liz's patterns is they're so much smaller than you think they're gonna be. I gave myself a lot of extra fabric over here, not as much over here. I don't know what I did with that, but you can see that the border, you know, it goes from here to there, and then you know, down. That's as far as the border goes at the bottom. So it's actually really pretty small. So it should not take me that much longer to finish it. But yeah, you always just forget her patterns are so detailed, but like look at the ribbon here and the buttons, like you can tell it's not gonna be that big, but for some reason I just always think that they're gonna be so much bigger. But it's just gonna be such a cute little one. I don't know how I'll fully finish it, but I love like a wood frame like she did, so maybe something like that. But yeah, I've done all this and then just a little bit here. So a lot of berries to go before I get to the cute little bun, but he'll come, and the bee skip is so cute too. So I'm so excited to be making progress on that. That is going to be more of a focus in the next couple weeks because I really want to have a bit more progress to show next time. And please stitch along with us and let me know what you're stitching. A lot of people still joining in, so join in really at any time. No rules to this Sal really, except stitch a bunny. So we could be stitching bunnies for as long as we want, well into spring, which is the bunny time of year. And so next I'm gonna go into my WIPGO whips. So WIPGO was started by Jessie Marie Does Stuff. It's like a bingo board where you put either whips, or for me, some of them are themes, and then Jessie will call on the 25th, which is today, of each month, the WIPGO for the next month, just the bingo board numbers, and you'll do whatever you put in that square. So for, it's February. So for February, she called 7 and 11. And so one of them I have done, one of them I am very close. So 11 I did, so I got to color that in. And 11 is bookish. So that one is a theme. So I am just stitching something related to books, and it is 8 hours. So the one I chose to do the 8 hours on is Books and Cats by Puntini. Such a cute one. As I think you all know, I have a black and white cat named Scout. And so I'm changing some of the kitties on here that are black to have a little bit of white with them. And I am a reader and a cat lover, so a house is not a home without books and cats is most certainly true in my life. And as here's all my books, and then the cat is sleeping in the bedroom. Every time I film, she's like, no. She was sitting, I have a chair next to me where I put all my stuff. As I talk, I just pile it on the chair. And as I was about to start, she hopped up and sat in the chair. So first of all, I was like, now I'm gonna have to like throw the stuff on the floor because I can't pile it on top of her. And then I was like, but maybe she'll stay long enough for me to give you guys a peek. And then the minute I started recording and talking, she's like, oh no, I'm out. So I don't know if you will ever see Scout in the wild while I am filming these videos, but there'll always be some pictures of her at the beginning because she's a cutie patootie. So this is my progress. Oh, and did I say I had to do 8 hours on this one? And I succeeded. So I did my 8 hours. So that's awesome. And this is coming along really nicely. I really love it. I love the colors. It's just a nice, easy one to stitch on. I have a little bookshop needle minder that I got at Fat Quarter Shop. And this one is on Belfast raw linen, 32 count, 2/2. I'm using the called for DMC. And so I think when you saw me last, I think the 8 hours or a little less is I did all of this text up here, even though I kind of just stopped and didn't finish not. So it'll say not a home. And then I did a lot of down here. So I think I had like these books done and part of this one, and I could not find the brown in this one. I did not know where I put it, and then I realized I was using it for Christmas delivery, so I did finally find it. And so I did this book, this book, this book, this book. Here, Mr. Kitty with some white on his paws to look like Scout. Scout has white on her face too, but I didn't know it's like here. So I didn't know how to do that on the cat without making it look weird. So I left that out for him. But she does have white on her face and then and. So I'm getting there. I'm making good progress. I do want to finish this one pretty soon. It's my oldest WIP since August, so it's not that old, but I haven't been stitching that long. So for me, that's old. And so, yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to frame it and I don't know, maybe just set it on the bookcase. If I put it on the bookcase by itself, it's going to be pretty small, and I don't have anything else up there right now, so it might look a little weird just hanging out on its own, but I will figure out a place to put it, but I'm pretty sure I'll probably try to get a nice either dark blue frame or a black frame. I'll see what I can find. But, and spoiler alert for plans, WIPGO for March is 2 and 22, and 22 is bookish again for another 8 hours. So I will just be able to continue stitching on this in March, which actually is perfect for making that progress on it. Will I finish it in 8 hours? I'm not sure. I don't think I'm a terribly fast stitcher. I'm easily distracted while stitching, while watching Flosstube. I'll just start staring at the screen and looking at people's stuff and like not be stitching, or I'll put my stitching down and make a cup of coffee or get a snack or play with Scout. And so I just have a lot of time to stitch because I'm just at a point in my life right now where I don't have a lot of obligations other than work and Alex, my boyfriend. So that just gives me a lot of time, especially in the winter when he's working late. We don't see each other during the week so much because he's mired in tax season, which is fine because then I can just come home, put my pajamas on, eat dinner, and stitch all night or read. But anyway, so I don't know if I'll finish this in the next 8 hours, maybe. I mean, I have not a home, but the words are really quick. And then, and cats, I just have to do cats, but it's her. She's gonna take a bit of time, but I might be able to finish it in March. Now, I don't think I'm gonna do the border. I think I decided I'm gonna pass on the border. It's cute, but I don't think it's really needed. It's just gonna take me a lot of time, quite a bit of stitching. And for some reason to me, whenever I see paws, I think a dog more than a cat. And I don't know why, but these just make me think dogs and not cats for some reason. So I think I'll skip the border and that'll save me on some stitching. And I think it'll look nice in a frame without the border. So that's books and cats. That was WIPGO number 11. Check. And then number 7 is the other one, and I just need 1 more hour. So for number 7 for February, it was Christmas Delivery, which is a WIP I have, and it's 6 hours. So Christmas Delivery is by Cottage Garden Samplings, and it's this adorable Santa with his huge sleigh of gifts. And this was like one of the first ones where I was watching Flosstube and someone else was working on this one, and I was like, I want to stitch that. That's cool. So this was my first, like, I must get that, I must stitch it. So it's coming along pretty well. Christmas delivery is all the called for DMC, 2/2 on 32 count vintage stormy night. So I just need to do 1 more hour, and I can fold this up all nice and tight for you. So there's where I'm at. So last time I had this bit of, I think I had this whole package done. I messed up somewhere, so this is a little wonky looking, but it's a package stuck in his sleigh, so it can look a little weird, who knows. I think I know I stitched more on this package for the orange and yellow, so I must have finished that. I know I did the bow, and I had done this one, and then I started moving up here to this pink package. So the little ornament here, this, and that up there. So slow but steady progress. I mean, for 6 hours, or I guess 5, because I have an hour left to do on, maybe I have an hour and a half left. I might have an hour and a half left to do on this one. That's right, I do. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll be focusing on this and do that hour and a half. So, I mean, a decent amount done for the time given to it. And we'll see if I can get this done by Christmas. It is quite a lot of stitching, you know. I mean, it's technically like full coverage in here. And then all the snowflakes, the Santa, it's a lot of stitching, but it's super cute and I am enjoying working on it. So those are my 2 WIPGOs for February. So I will be successful for the first 2 months of the year, my first year doing WIPGO. And then the next WIP, because I just bounced around to all the WIPs and did so much stitching, is Heart and Hands, Big Hearted Tiny Town. Stitch along with Sweetwater Stitcher and a couple other stitchers. And this one I am doing on 32 count Affogato, fiber on a whim. I'm using mostly the called for DMC. Some of it is just kind of what I had in stash, but similar pinks and reds. And then I'm actually doing 1/2 for this one accidentally, but I think it's turning out fine. So this is what I have. And so I finished this side. I think I had some of this house done, but I finished that. I did the tree and the fence, and then I moved on over to the other side of the hill, did that whole house right there, and then started on the next little house. So making some good progress on this one. It's really cute, and I love those pinks and the colors, and I think it's a lot of fun. And I think the 1/2 works fine on this fabric. So that was because I had in my head that I was working on 36 count because I wanted to do this on a 36 count, but then I liked the Affogato better. And so as I was stitching, I just was not thinking, but I think the coverage is good. So I think it looks nice. And someone asked me how I'm going to fully finish this one. And I will say I do want to get this done by my next video. So that is also going to be a focus. Really not that much more to go. So I have to finish this house. I got to do the birds up here and this fence, this big red house, and that. Like, that's it. And I think I didn't do the back stitch on that heart. So not a ton, though I know this house is probably going to take a bit of time, but I'm going to try to get that done. And then fully finishing, I'm going to do it on a board. I have a couple options from Michael's or whatever, just like a long board that probably says like coffee time, I think, or something like that, that I'm just going to cover. And I'm going to try to do it so that I can stitch others because it's a series. I don't know if the Christmas one is on the back, so there's the Christmas one. So I can use magnets and just do it the exact same way and switch it out for the season or the time of year. That means I probably will want to do them all on the, at least if I don't do them all on the Affogato, which I certainly don't think I have enough of this to do. I could probably do 1 or 2 more. I'm not sure how much of a cut I have left, but I think as long as I do it on a 32 count fiber on a whim, because of the fabric dyers, all of the weave is either tighter or looser depending on the dyer. So I probably want to stick with fiber on a whim, but I want to try to make them all the same size so they can all interchange on the same board. And I know that Heart in Hand has, I'm gonna forget the name, but their new one for market is bee themed. And it's so pretty. It's like more muted colors than some of their others. It's golds and like a dark navy blue, and it's just a town with all the little bees and sunflowers. So that is super cute. That is not gonna be part of my market wish list video, but it is on my market wish list, or market wish list segment of this video. But it is on my wish list because I really like the colors, but I just want to finish one and fully finish it before I go out and get another one. But those are super cute, and I like the idea of having something that I can just leave up and switch out the patterns for all the different seasons. So I'll be stitching, if not all of them, most of them. I think there's a patriotic tiny town. I might pass on stitching that. I'm gonna stitch a few things for 4th of July, but I'm not huge into patriotic stitching, so I might do the, I think it's a Honey of a Tiny Town is the bee one, and I might do that and just leave that up all summer. So, but those are super cute, and I love, you know, seasonal themed things that are all kind of similar. Okay, and 2 more whips. So next one, which I do need to get done before the end of the month, hopefully, which gives me Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and tonight, depending what I stitch tonight, is Au Fil de Moi, Jardin Privé. Did January and January. I'm hoping to finish February and February. And it's really not that much stitching. I just need to sit down and focus on this one because I've been focusing on all the other ones. I think I only spent like an hour to an hour and a half on this, which is why I have like a lot of whips, is just because I've just been an hour here, an hour there. And I had some, you know, some days off where I was spending a lot of the day stitching. But this Au Fil de Moi is 28 count wheat Lugana. I'm using the call for DMC. So there's my very bitty start of February. So not much done, but just weirdly the wrist and half of the word. I don't know. I also jumped around with this one. I like did here, and then I was like, no, I'm gonna stitch some pink, and I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do 2. I don't know. I'm all jumpy around lately, but that's fine. I think this is gonna be super cute. Really nice to hang something up with all of the months of the year, and I'll probably frame that one. I think I did do the call for DMC, but I switched out the color of the hand and just made it a little bit less pink and more muted. So that is Au Fil de Moi. And then my last one, which might be my favorite whip, even though I didn't put that much time into it, is Winter Rose Manor. So many people are stitching or have stitched this one, and no doubt as to why, because it is beautiful and I just love it. And I think I'm really enjoying it because it's 36 count, and I like 36 count. It's my first 36 count, but I like 1/1 stitching. I like how it looks. I like the more delicateness of it, I guess. And also I think my stitches look a little bit neater. And so I am doing Winter Rose Manor on a 36 count summer khaki linen, and I'm using all the fancy floss, and that is how that's going. And yeah, I think it's really pretty. So I think I did finish the flower border. I had already done the trees and that little motif with the flowers inside of it, and so I started the border going this way. I did this basket and a little flower set down there. Sorry about the band-aid, I cut my hand. Snowflakes, and then this has specialty stitches for the flowers, so I need to figure out how to do those. I don't know what specialty stitches they are. I have to look in the book, but I just decided, like, I was just going and stitching, and I didn't want to take the time to figure out how to do that, so I just moved up to the border, I think, so that I could keep stitching without slowing myself down, because I was enjoying it. I also think I missed some parts of this flower down here, the little things poking out of it. I missed a few things, so I need to go back and make sure I fix that, because I don't want to have missing elements, because I might forget to go back at the end and add in. I think this one is missing like some stitches coming out the top. So, but Yeah, I just think this one's going to turn out so pretty. I like the fabric I chose. I think the colors really show up nicely on this khaki, and I really like that one. So, yeah. Okay, that is all the whips, which is a lot of whips. And so the next part we're gonna get into is haul and stitchy kindness. So let's start with the stitchy kindness, which you already saw my fabric for Oh Joyous Day. And then one of my other viewers sent me these hoops. And so I had been talking about the Nerge hoop, which I've been enjoying, but it doesn't keep the fabric super tight. And so she had recommended these. Really, you can use them for finishing. I really like that they have these if you do use it for finishing, to hang it from, or just an extra little bit of a nice element on that. But these are like, I think you can get these in probably Joann's or Michael's too, but it's like a more of a plastic. This isn't wood, it's more of a plastic material, and then it's got this, and actually holds the fabric really nice and tight. So I've been enjoying using these for smaller projects, because I like for the bigger ones the larger Q-snap, so that I have more space to stitch. But for the longer ones, like I think I was using this on Books and Cats, and it holds it nice and tight. So these can be found on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description if you are looking for some different kind of hoops, or if you want to use these for finishing, because they have like that nice, you can hang them and they're really pretty. So that was incredibly kind. Thank you so much for sending me these. They will definitely be put to good use. And they keep the fabric nice and tight. So that's great. So that is my stitchy kindness. So thank you very much. And then for my haul, I got some of the fancy flosses for Oh Joyous Day. So while I was at it, and because I only had to order 5 overall for that pattern after kind of going through the DMC and what I had, I did decide for Erica Michael's Blessings Be More to get the fancy floss for that, because I thought the DMC was a bit too bright and I really wanted the softer, more muted colors. And so I got the Weeks for this, and it's only 4 colors. So that was easy enough to just get the Weeks Dye Works, add that to my purchase when I got the floss for Oh Joyous Day. And these are just really, especially the green, this one is Seaweed, sorry. And I just liked the variegation, and I like this color so much better than the DMC. So, and that is also plans, starting this one in March for St. Patrick's Day. And it says, "May your trouble be less and your blessings be more, and nothing but happiness come through your door." I love that, like classic kind of Irish saying. So yeah, I'm excited. That'll be fun to start in March. And then one more piece of haul that I decided to do. I will have 1 second of crinkle. So I was in the Fat Quarter Shop Stitch Quarterly, and that one was where every quarter you would get a pattern and a bag and the fabric for the pattern and the floss. I'm sure you've seen me show a couple of them, and I decided, while it's a great club and the patterns are cute and Fat Quarter Shop does a fantastic job with the curation, not knowing what pattern I was gonna get isn't really for me, because then instead of being excited about not knowing, it was more like, oh, but what if I don't like it? What if it's not my style? Also, they only do Aida, and while I do still stitch on some Aida, and certainly there's absolutely nothing wrong with stitching on Aida, it's a great fabric to use, but for me, I've just been enjoying linen and Lugana more. And so I just decided instead of that, I would do their Floss Fix, and I chose the Classic Colorworks. And so I just thought getting more of a store up of a fancy floss would be more useful for me, since I don't have a lot. And then I'll have a lot of beautiful flosses to choose from, and then that's fun. Like, I like being surprised about like colors of floss more than like a whole kitted project that you might not be your style or your taste. So let me grab, I put my board down and I want to grab it so you can really see the colors of the floss. Okay. I don't have a lot of room in my apartment for filming, so sorry if I'm a little messy sometimes, but Argyle Socks for February was the first color. So really pretty gray purple, which I really like that. And then another purple, but a brighter purple, is Aunt Marie's Violet. So really beautiful purple, really great for spring stitching. So that's nice. And then I love blue. So this is Auntie D, and this is beautiful light and dark blue variegated. So I really like that one. And this is just so soft. Classic Colorworks is really nice. And then for fall stitching, Autumn Spice. Beautiful orange. Really like that one. And then maybe for fall, Avocado or spring, a nice green, or Halloween. And then I love this one. No idea what I'm going to use it for, but Baby Blanket. So it is like a peach, yellow, pink, blue, kind of light pastel colors that you would find in a baby blanket. So I think that's beautiful. So very much worth it to me. Like less than 20 bucks and you get your 6 different flosses, and I can really start getting a nice stash, and I like Classic Colorworks. So those will be a lot of fun to figure out where and how I want to use them. So, okay, let's do giveaways, and then I will do plans and then market. So again, a little bit of a lengthy video here. Hopefully you're still staying tuned. So number 1 for, Stitchy treats. And don't use like any of those trigger words. I'm pretty small of a channel, so I'm hoping I won't really get any kind of trolls or baddies coming into the comments. I know a lot of people have. I don't want to talk about this too long because you've heard this probably from a lot of the other floss tubers, but I just want you all to be safe. I don't want anyone to get scammed or anyone to come into the comments doing something they're not supposed to. So don't use any kind of those trigger words. I will always use numbers. So all you have to do is put the number, the numeral in the comment. You don't have to say anything else. You can even just comment with just a number, though it's always nice when you comment with other stuff or tell me what's going on with you, and then just stick the number at the end of the comment or wherever you want. So we can avoid using any words that would alert someone that they could win something. That's also a trigger word. And also I will always announce it in my video if you are the recipient. So I might comment on your comment if I don't hear from you, but I'll probably just say watch the video. I can even give you a timestamp in case you just didn't have time to get to the video, but then you hear me say your name and you know it's legit and there's no questions. So if anyone ever comments on your comment and tells you to email them or contact them or do something like that, that is scam. I won't do that. I will just say like, hey, check out the video. There's something you want to listen to, and I can give you the timestamp, and then you can literally hear me say it and know that there is no question that you are the person. So the first one, I'm going to do number 1. So use a 1, numeral 1 in your comment, is this cute DMC kit. And so it comes with, I think, pretty much everything. And it is this cute alphabet stitch. So it comes with the pattern. It comes with the special moonline across stitch, floss, which is the DMC kind of sparkly fancy floss. It comes with a 14 count Aida, needles, and I think it comes with the frame. Yes, it comes with this little hanging frame. It just comes with everything, and it's a little hard to see. Maybe that's better. I know it's going out of focus a little, but it is ABCs with little animals. So it's really cute if you have a friend who's expecting a baby, or a grandchild is coming or something like that, that's something really cute that you could hang up in their nursery. So that's number one. If you want this little DMC kit, comes with everything. I got it at Joann's. I thought it was super cute, and I knew that one of you would make great use of this. So that is number one. Number two is the World of Cross Stitching. This is a UK cross stitching magazine. I think this is probably February's, but it's just got a whole host of really cute patterns. It's got this one from the BFG. It's got like a cute coffee one. Here's some of the other patterns down here. Super cute, lots of patterns, tips, articles, really nice magazine. And it also comes with this bookmark kit. So you can make this little giraffe bookmark and stitch him up. So it comes with that, with all the materials. So that is number two. If you want this magazine, put number 2 in your comment and I will get that out to you. And then the last one, very kind viewer of mine sent me some patterns that I could either keep or share. So there is one I wanted to share with you all. This is number 3, Up on the Housetop by Teresa Kogut. This really beautiful with a little dancing snowman up on the house. Look at them. That's so cute for winter stitching. And you can get a really fun fabric, a dark blue like Teresa did, or a stormy gray or something like that, and really have a lot of fun with this one. So that is number 3. Put 3 in your comment if you would like Up on the Housetop. So those are the Stitchy treats. I will announce the winners in my next video. I don't have a calendar in front of me. It's not March 3rd, 4th that weekend. It's the weekend after. So try to get your comment in within the next 2 weeks so that I have time to go through and do a random number selector and pick the winner. So that's fun. So I like doing giveaway Stitchy treats. And just as thanks for you all for spending time with me, and it's always fun to get something in the mail. I like getting treats in the mail, and I like sending treats in the mail and knowing someone's gonna open their mailbox one day and have a surprise, especially because, you know, if you're having a bad day and you get something in the mail, it just brightens everything. So, yay. So, okay, we're getting there. Plans, WIPGO. Was announced for March this morning, so that was great, right before I filmed. So it is 2 and 22. So number 2 is Halloween. I'm gonna be stitching Halloween in March, 5 hours on it. And so part of the thing I did with WIPGO is there's projects that I want to start, but they're holiday themed, and like normally I wouldn't really be like ready and raring to go to start a Halloween stitch in March, but it was chosen, and sure, why not? I can stitch Halloween in March. I don't have any Halloween whips right now, and so I chose 3 Jacks and Cat by Stitches by Ethel. So I like cats because of my Scouty. He's really cute. Look at the funny pumpkins. And I just wanted something small. I have a couple Halloweens. I have a Teresa Kogut and a Luminous Fiber Arts, and they're fairly big. And I wanted to just do something a little smaller because I have a lot of larger projects going right now. And so I thought this one was perfect. And he's so cute. I like the spider web in his tail. That's an adorable detail. And Stitches by Ethel is fairly new. You can find her on Etsy, and I think she has an Instagram, and some local needlework shops sell her patterns. I got this at Hodgepodge out in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and she's in Maryland, so the owner of Hodgepodge knows Ethel and sells her patterns in her shop, but you can buy them in a lot of places, and she's got really cute ones. So that will be my Halloween. 5 hours of stitching on that one, so a start and a stitch. And then the other one, as I kind of mentioned earlier, was 22 was called, and so that's bookish, so anything with books, so 8 hours. So I will work on books and cats and try to finish that one In the odd chance I do finish Books and Cats, I also have the bookshop by Cottage Needleworks, which I've shown on here before, that I did a very, very small start with. So I'll work on that one too. Whether I finish Books and Cats or maybe feel like switching it up, I can also work on that one. So that's my plans for March for WIPGO. And then Blessings Be More. I'm not going to grab it out of this huge pile, but I showed it with the floss. I'm going to start Blessings Be More in March for St. Patrick's Day. So I'm excited to get started on that one, and I'll show you the fabric and everything in my next video for that one. And then just stitching what I feel like the rest of the month. I'll need to do the March one for Au Fil du Mois, which again, if I pull it out of this pile, it's all going to fall on the floor, but I'm assuming March. I don't know if it's St. Patrick's themed. I don't know what the March block looks like, but I'll be working on that. And then all of these other WIPs, maybe finishing Big Hearted Tiny Town, maybe starting something that I get for market. Who knows? March is a big question mark, but I'll just be stitching when I feel like, because that's fun. And the WIPGO, which maybe some people don't like WIPGO because it kind of tells you what you should be stitching on, but I kept my goals for WIPGO, I think, reasonable enough that I'm not spending all my time working on those projects. They're just kind of fitting in as I feel like 8 hours and 6 hours in a month is not that much time stitching, because I have a good amount of time stitching, especially March. There's not much going on. I don't really have many plans for the month, so I'll have a lot of stitchy time. Okay. Oh, there's one more thing I wanted to mention, and this was just because a viewer asked me this. So she had mostly been starting from the middle, and asked me how I figure out how to start from the corner. So this is the left-hand corner. It looks backwards on the screen, but how do I start from the corner? So I'm going to do this real quickly in case you already know, because a lot of people might, but I don't have any cool science to this. What I do when I'm kitting up a project is I will use the Fat Quarter Shop's calculator. Just Google Fat Quarter Shop and calculator, and they have a calculator so you can figure out how big of a piece of fabric do I need. Some people, I think, know how to like count that out. I don't really know how to do that. So I just use the calculator. You put in, whether it's Aida, linen, or even weave, you put in the count of the fabric. So 36 count linen I put in for Winter Rose Manor. And then you put how much of a border you want. And so 2 inches, 3 inches, whatever you want your margin to be. And then it tells you how big of a piece of fabric to cut. And so then I'll do that. I'll put the numbers in. I'll cut the fabric. I usually put like 2 inches, but honestly, I probably usually give myself like 2.5, sometimes 3. Sometimes I cut the fabric based on just how big of a piece I have. Like if I'm gonna have like this much at the bottom and I already had my 2 inches, I'm not gonna like cut that off. I'm just gonna give myself the extra space. Same with on the side, it just depends on the fabric, but I always kind of fudge a little and give myself a little bit more room just in case. And then all I do is, how much did I give myself on this? I think I gave myself almost 3 inches on Winter Rose Manor. So then all I do is I take out my little handy dandy tape measure and I just measure 3 inches and 3 inches, and that's where I start. So really not a lot of science to it. I'll just stick my needle in, so I'll do the 3 inches, I'll stick my needle there or wherever, and then I'll just, you know, figure out where I need to start and use the tape measure. So really probably a fairly basic way. It's possible people have a better idea. I know at probably Fat Quarter Shop, 123 Stitch, other places you can buy like a thing that is like this and like this, and then it's got an inch here and an inch here. It would be like wood, and it would be shaped like that, and then you would know like where the 2 pieces meet, that would be 2 inches. And so I think they sell like tools that you just line up to the fabric and it would tell you where to start. So that's an option too. Probably would save some time with all the tape measuring and the finagling, but that's how I do that. So I just wanted to make sure I answered that question from one of my viewers on how I do it. So again, I'm like a year into stitching. I I'm not make stuff up as I go, but I'm just like, yeah, just do it that way, which I'm sure a lot of people do it that way. Okay, so that's all of that. And next I'm gonna do a quick top 5 market wish list with 1 honorable mention. If you're overwhelmed by the market stuff or you just don't really care about what I have, feel free to move on. That doesn't bother me at all. I know that everybody has different tastes. Everybody probably wants something different from market. You might also have your market wish list and not want to be enabled. Totally fair. So I'm gonna put all the pictures up here because obviously I don't have any of the market stuff yet. So the first one, I'm kind of cheating because this is 2 patterns, but I'm talking about it as one, and none of this is in any order. So these are 6, 7, 8, I don't know. I'm blending things together and now I'm just not making sense, but these are in no particular order of which I love best. So the first one, which is 2 patterns and floss that I want, is part of the Tea Time Cell. And so this, I think Abby, the top knot stitcher, started this. Maybe she worked with other people, but it's X Stitch the Rainbow, and they did it last time, or at least in the fall. And what they do is they pick a theme. So this year the theme is tea time. They pick the color of floss. Usually I think it's 4 colors. And then 25 stitchers stitch something using those 4 colors in that theme. So this time it's tea. And they are using Treenway silks. So these are the 4 colors that all of the designers are using. I think there's like 25 designers participating, so possibly 25 patterns. So they're using these colors. And so the 2 patterns that I want are Stitchy Prose's Tea Time and Top Knot Stitcher Abby herself, her Cup of Tea. So I really like Tea Time on that dark fabric with the teacups and the pot. And then I really like Abby's because it's tea sitting on a stack of books, which is just very me. So I pre-ordered the silks already. They're just beautiful colors. I've never used silk, so that was a bit of a splurge for me, but I thought I would check those out. And then those are the 2 patterns to start that I'm gonna stitch. Maybe I'll pick up a couple more, but keep things reasonable. I'll start with those 2 because I thought they were really pretty. So that's kind of number 1 because they're themed and I think they go together. Number 2 might be my favorite, is Enchanted Quaker by Luminous Fiber Arts. I'll put it there. So cute. I love Misty's designs. I love how it's kind of like, I don't know if I would say like cartoony, but I just like the way she does things. I like her design style. Oh, excuse me, 1 second. A lot of talking. And I just love Quakers, and I like the idea of the themed Quakers. I know a lot of designers do that, and I think this Enchanted Quaker is just so cute. And then I have some of those flosses that I got, and so like maybe I would do one of the motifs and like this lovely Aunt Marie's violet. Maybe I would do like the pumpkin and the autumn spice, and do a lot of it black, but do some of the motifs in colors to make those kind of pop. So excited for that one. And then number 3 is Honey Fair, October, House Fiber Arts. I know that a lot of people are doing a stitch along with Helen D for Strawberry Fair, which is super cute, a strawberry with a little bird. Super interested in stitching that one, but I really liked Honey Fair. I love the way she did that. I think it's called a bee skip, and the colors, and just so cute and summery, and it seems like a small, quick one. And I want to say that Fanciful Flamingo, Alicia, with someone else who I don't know, I'll look it up and I can put some of the details. I'll just scroll them or put them at the bottom, but they're doing a bee sow, kind of like my Best Bunny sow, where it's just stitch something with a bee. And so this will probably be my stitch something with a bee. So I'll probably join in with that when I get the pattern. And then I really like Teresa Kogut's Remember Me. So that's my next one. It's big. I probably won't start it anytime soon. I want to get working on some of my bigger whips, and Joyous Day is a big one. Winter Rose Manor is pretty big. But at some point I will be stitching Remember Me. I know there's quite a few others who probably want to stitch this one. I might be tempted to start it sooner, but maybe just put a few stitches in and at least have it, but we'll see. But I like that one, so that's really cute. And then the next one that is 2 patterns, but again, I'm counting it as one. I might stitch them together. I'm gonna figure out how I would want to do that, but they are Float Like a Butterfly and Sting Like a Bee. And so that's the famous quote from Muhammad Ali. I think these are just beautiful. I love using that, you know, having the patterns with that fun quote. And they are 2 different designers working together to kind of create this. So it's Plum Street Samplers is Float Like a Butterfly, and then Heartstring Samplery is Sting Like a Bee. So I think these are so cute. They're very summery. The colors just pop. So those would be nice, pretty small to work on. So that's also on my wish list. And then my last one is an honorable mention, and it's only an honorable mention because I'm not stitching it for me. I'm gonna stitch it for my mom. And this one is Crab Dance by Tiny Modernist. So I definitely pre-ordered that from Top Knot Stitcher. A few of these I pre-ordered. I pre-ordered the 2 Teas Time Sal's and the Silks, Enchanted Quaker, Honey Fair, and Crab Dance. And so Crab Dance, it's just very much my mom. Like, they live near the beach and the colors are bright and poppy, and it's just a fun little crab. And the minute I saw it, I was like, this would be something she would put out in the house and she would like. And I sent her a picture and she was like, please stitch that for me. So I'm gonna get that for mom. Her birthday is in August, so try to get it done by August or sometime in the summer, and figure out how I want to finish that. But that one will be for mom, so she'll like that. That'll be fun to stitch for her. So that is my market wish list, and that does not mean that there aren't a dozen other ones that I like and possibly could want, but at least that's where I'm gonna start. So I'm not going too crazy with the market buys. Do have a pre-order out with Top Knot Stitcher, so those will come at some point in March. I think most pre-orders probably have closed at this point because everybody's getting ready to head down to Nashville, but you can still order. All the shops will be there, online needlework shops and local needlework shops, so you'll still be able to order all of these patterns. And then I think they're all physical copies for the first month or 2, just to kind of make sure that especially the local needlework shops that don't always do like PDFs and things like that can make some sales and keep things going. And then I think in a month or 2, the designers will start releasing PDF versions so that you can just download it and get started on it. So market is exciting, and this is my first year where I've even known that market was a thing and could do pre-orders. So that's why I put a few pre-orders in, because never been part of this and wanted to have some fun with it. So I think that's everything. The only other thing I might do, we'll see if Alex wants to go. The Strawberry Sampler is my LNS, local needlework shop, and they are having a sale tomorrow. They're not normally open on Sundays, but they're having a special sale. Initially, they did a Super Bowl sale, but they had a lot of fabrics and patterns that were going to come in after the Super Bowl. And I think they do a Super Bowl sale maybe every year, or maybe it was this year because the Eagles were in it and we're in the Philly area, and it was wear your Eagles gear and get a discount. I actually don't have any Eagles gear, but this weekend they're doing it again because they got all those fabrics and other orders they were waiting on in. And since spring training is starting for baseball, it's wear Eagles gear or Phillies gear. And I love baseball and I love the Phillies, so I have plenty of Phillies gear to choose from. Maybe I'll just bring a baseball cap, so I might go if Alex wants to go after church. We'll see if he's feeling up to checking out a needlework store with me. But if he's up to it, we might go tomorrow, and I'll try to be good. But they are having 25% off if you wear the Phillies gear. So I might pick up a pattern or 2 just to check that out and support them. So that will be fun. So we'll see. I'll let you know in 2 weeks if he's brave enough to go to the needlework store with me. And that'll also curb my spending though if he's with me, so that's a good thing, because, you know, not want to go crazy with him watching being, not that he minds, I mean, it's my money, but, you know, I think that you know, curbs your enthusiasm a little bit, which isn't such a bad thing. So we'll see if we do that. Otherwise, my mom might visit next weekend. We're gonna watch the weather. It might be rainy and she doesn't want to come up here and just, you know, we want to go shopping and walk around and hang out, and it wouldn't be as much fun in the rain. So we'll see if she decides to come up, but that would be nice. Just like a shoppy weekend. We'll go out to lunch with my aunt. She'll get to see Alex again and stuff. So that'll be nice if it happens. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend, or depending when you're watching this, a wonderful week ahead. I hope you have a lot of enjoyable Stitchy time, and I will see you in 2 weeks. So thanks so much for watching, and leave some comments and like and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.